が言うやっと過去感だと誘惑従いざるごとに溺れ出した王様ゲーム強制参加条件なんて聞いちゃくれない課せられたクエストには絶望だ野望まみれ少年に逃げ込んだ現実はだった欲望ないとか偽り偽善者でも仕方ねえや憧れた夢なんだってヒーローになりたいのうつく願い口にするあいにくばかりつける薬はないよ説が言うやっと過去感だと誘惑従いざるごとに溺れ出した
For your first performer, Julia Pope.
You want it in or out? Sorry.
But you know, you told me, Alex, to put the mic behind me. So that I'm doing, that I choose to do. And I choose to be here. What's up, downtown Knoxville, Tennessee? Woo! I come to you tonight as a strong, tough, and
Kayla, anything? Nothing. Don't spill it. Yeah, don't spill it. Which I'm really excited because my last 4 classes have been 99% men. And so tonight we've got, I think we might be 50-50 tonight, right? 50-50 women to men. So guys, you boo. You're in the class and you just boo. You're gonna get your ass kicked so bad. All right guys, let's give a huge round of applause for the one and only Jessica.
Get it, girl.
Do it for Alex, everybody. My name is Jessica Newman. I'm also known as, I'm also known as the creator of Pizza Holics Anonymous. Not really. Actually, I own a ferret litter pan business. I actually invented a ferret litter pan. And I know that sounds like a joke because it is. It's a total joke. Nobody is buying these things. I have like 4,000 of these litter pans sitting in my apartment and nobody is buying them. It's really sad. So, life isn't all gloom and doom. I do have some good news. I did just get married to my cat. Funny thing is, it was a shotgun wedding. We're about to give birth to a litter of about 14 kittens. So I thought that maybe you guys could help me to name my baby cats, my kittens. So I brought Everything Baby Names book. And we're gonna go through a couple of names in here. And I was looking at these names earlier and they seem really strange. These are actually says what the origin of the names are in Greek and Latin. So we have one of the girl names is Claudia. Apparently the name Claudia means lame in Greek. The name Mallory means bad luck. Olivia means elf army. Cecilia means blind. Alexia means dyslexic. Courtney means short nose. Belinda means beautiful snake. Or you could also insert forgettable white girl name and fill in the blank. So here's some interesting boys' names. There's Gilbert, means vomit in Greek. Calvin, this is all true, you guys. This is real. This is like some non-fiction stuff right here. Calvin means mold in Latin. Wyatt means little dick. Campbell means crooked mouth. Caleb means dog. And Connor means dog lover. Okay, so I forgot where I was going with that.
Kid names.
Okay, so yeah, kid names. So I'm bombing here. So funny thing is, like, I did actually start a ferret liver pin business. No, I'm not the founder of Pizzaholics Anonymous. It's a horrible idea. I mean, why would you want to stop eating pizza? That would be horrible. But I did actually marry my cat. I have a friend who is ordained priest, and we had a ceremony and everything. It was beautiful, so I did actually marry my cat. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you.
Kim.
Okay, I appreciate this. It's a little strange, different kind of audience here, but first things first, I turned 60 this year. Big deal, 60, big 6-0. And when you live 60 years, you got good things that happen to you, you got bad things that happen to you. About 7 years ago, I lost my husband. Well, I didn't lose him, because I know right where he is, but he died. And so it's been a tough 7 years, but I'm kind of feeling like, I don't know, I'm kind of coming out of the funk a little bit and thinking that I'm not like a little D. Yeah, I'm like a little D now and then. So I'm thinking I might want to kind of put my name out there and I need to hold it up quicker. Okay, sorry. Put my name out there. I want to see a dude. I don't mind hanging out with some dudes. So I kind of let it be known a little bit that, you know, Kim's on the market. Nothing. So some friends of mine suggested online dating. So I thought I'd give it a try. I'm a boomer, I'm a young boomer, but I'm into technology, so I thought I'll give this a try. Online dating. So when you start that phase, there's so much to think about because there's so many choices to make, right? You gotta choose your platform, right? Then you go onto that platform, you finally pick the one, everybody's giving you suggestions about the best ones, you know, so you finally pick one, and then you gotta go make a bunch of decisions, right? I'm interested in men, so I check the men box, right? But then they ask you ages. I gotta pick ages of dudes I'm interested in. I gotta tell y'all, I like some hot young dudes. I like some hot young things. I like those dudes with that thing right there, you know, the lines right there. I love them lines. I've never seen them in person, but I'm hopeful. So anyway, I gotta pick some ages for these dudes. So my son's 35, so I don't want to go that young. So I go 38 to 42. 38 to 42. No, I'm just kidding. I went 50 to 65. I was being realistic, you know. So I start looking at those pictures. Start looking at the pictures of these guys. Whew, I gotta tell you, man, you gotta up your game here, people. You gotta up your game. There's a guy standing. There's three sets of pictures you get from these guys. They're standing in the bathroom, right in front of the mirror. Click. You see a picture of them. They got they might have their Confederate life beater on. They're looking good. There's probably a turd in the toilet next to them. And then you got the guys that stand there with their fish, right? They pose with their fish. Then there's the guys that post the thing they post a picture of themselves, but they're standing probably next to their ex-wife or something, because they either like color out her face with a Sharpie, or they cut it out with a scissors, or there's like a knife through her face or something, so they got to work on the pictures. Then what happens, you start looking at their usernames, right, their little names. Daddy needs love. I don't think so. Lonely man. Lonely man's lonely. I want to date lonely man. I don't think so. What about Big Poppy? Big Poppy's got a name, yeah. Or you got, Daddy Love, that kind of thing. My favorite one, loves to hunt squirrels. Loves to hunt squirrels, that's his username. But my personal favorite was Big Man in the Boat. Big Man in the Boat. From the looks of that fellow, he's not been in any kind of boat in a long time, literally or figuratively. He's not getting in any boats anytime soon. So, guys, you need to work on your photos, and you need to work on your usernames. So, yeah, I went over all that stuff, and then I decided I'm pulling my iron out of the fire. It's too much. It's too much to deal with. So I kind of regrouped, sitting back, relax a little bit. I'm not going to take it seriously. But I think it's important, when you have a plan, you need to have guidelines for that. So I'm thinking if I do decide to get back in the dating scene, and for young girls as well, I think there's some things that might give you pause, perhaps, maybe some red flags, if you will, when you're dating. Not that any of these have occurred or happened to me or anything, but these are just, I'm going to give you 3 red flags, okay, for dates. First red flag is if the guy pulls up and he's got his back window well full of stuffed animals, and he wants to take you to Golden Corral. Red flag. It's flapping a little bit, right? Another red flag is if you're on a first date with a guy and he tells you he's been hospitalized because he had fantasies of killing his children. Little red flag. Little red flag. Final red flag to keep in mind. If this happens to you, you might want to run, unless perhaps you're my age, when it might not be a bad thing. Red flag, you're making out with a guy, he jumps up and jacks off in the wastebasket. Red flag. All right, that's all I got for you. Thank you.
So I'm excited to hear this one. If he tells the story he told us last week in class. So guys, let's give a huge round of applause for Greg.
So yesterday I was on my way home from work and had the day free and a pocket full of money. So anyway, I saw a psychic stand on the side of the road and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I don't believe in it. I think they're a bunch of cracks, but the fact is, I just want to see what they have to say. So I go in the shop, just super nuanced, super kind of out there, sit down, psychic walks in and she sits down in front of me and she's like, do you want a palm reading? I was like, yeah, go ahead, read my palm. And so I put out my palm, she analyzes it deeply, and she's like, Gregory? And I'm like, oh shit, how do you know my name? She's like, you haven't taken your name tag off yet. And so anyway, I take my name tag off, and at that point, she's just staring at my hand, and she's like, Gregory, I think you have some severe complex issues. And I was like, oh my God, you're starting to speak to my soul right now. And she's like, there's something about you that you can't change, that you're just really upset about. And I was like, my God, she's actually really, really good. And she's like, Greg, you have a tiny dick, don't you? And I was like, you got me there, enough of this black magic fuckery. And so I walked out. But anyway, so the other day, my iPhone actually died, and it was a really weird time for me because I've had my iPhone for 5 years, super into, just super into just Googling random stuff, calling people, and, I couldn't do that anymore. So anyway, once I ended up going and deciding to meet up with a group of friends. They told me to meet downtown at this local bar, and so I go ahead and do it. Of course, my iPhone's dead, so I get downtown, and then I realize, oh shit, I actually have no idea where this place is. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just start asking people in the street. And so it was really weird. It's like, you see people walking down the street, everybody has their phone, and then when you go up to go and try to speak to them, they just are kind of immediately like, what the hell do you want? And so I go up to a couple different people, and they just blow me off. And then finally I see this homeless gentleman, and he walks up to a patio at a bar. He gets everybody's attention. He's like, attention, attention everybody. I'm just really down on my luck, and I just need just a few dollars, any change that you can spare. And I thought to myself, I'm like, that is an effective strategy. So I pushed him out of the way, and I was like, hey guys, listen, I don't know where this specific bar is. Can anybody tell me? And yeah, everybody did not like the fact that I pushed a homeless person out of the way, so I quickly got out of there. So anyway, I ended up running into this really cool couple. We connected, we talked, we had a really, really awesome conversation. And it was nice, it was refreshing. They gave me the instructions on where to go. Everything was just perfect. And finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask these people a real personal question. I'm like, hey, do y'all have 13 bucks I can borrow? Alright, so anyway, my final joke here is actually a true story. I'm kind of a little bit ashamed of it, but at the same time too, it's a really great story. So I was coming home from work, and some friends had texted me and told me there was a good friend of mine's birthday. So they wanted to meet at a big-time dive bar out in Maryville, Tennessee. So anyway, I agreed to it, and very reluctantly, because I'm not really into the dive bar scene. And so I arrive, I have a beer, have a good time, get out of there. Well, I get to my car, and y'all, I'm a little bit of a hyper-focuser. I just start playing around on my GPS. I decided I was going to take the back roads home. I was just going to cruise. So I ended up cruising home about 30 minutes in. I'm really close to my apartment, and then all of a sudden I hear this really weird noise. I'm like, shit, I think I just hit an animal. So I turn around, and there's some dude passed out in the back of my car. Now, at first, I'm like, what the hell do I do? Y'all, I work in hospitality, so the first thing I did is I slowed down, because I didn't want to wake him up, And then, secondly, I'm like, well, is this guy comfortable? So I get him a pillow, get him a blanket, get him all comfortable, and then I start freaking out to myself. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I want to get the police involved because I really can't explain myself out of that situation. So anyway, I ended up pulling into what could be the shadiest apartment complexes in all of Knoxville. And at that point, the guy starts just rustling around a little bit, so I call my roommate, Derek. Derek comes running over, and he's like, dude, what is the situation? I'm like, dude, there's somebody passed out in my car. He's like, okay, let me check this out. And so he just looks in. Yeah, he's definitely passed out in the back of your car, Greg. So anyway, I decide, you know what, I have to get out of this situation. So I have a really good friend. Her name's Monica. She's about maybe 5 foot tall. She is a cornbread-fed mountain country girl with just the loudest mouth possible. So I call her at 3 o'clock in the morning. She comes over and she meets me. And so she ends up coming in, checking out the situation. And the guy is just out cold. So she's like, Greg, come in from the back, start pushing him. I'm gonna pull on his hand. Now, this dude was freaking huge. Like, it took, literally her 2 hands looked tiny next to this guy's hands. So we end up trying to push him out, and then he just comes in, just starts freaking out a little bit, gets out of the car, and, puts his head down, and I'm like, hey dude, you got in the wrong car, buddy. You're in Knoxville now. And then he starts going, finish the job, finished the job, and I'm like, shit, this dude thinks I'm his Uber driver now. So, anyway, long story short, this guy starts mouthing off to Monica. She didn't like it whatsoever. So she just all of a sudden loses it. She's like, listen here, motherfucker. Why don't, we were trying to be nice to you. We were gonna give you a ride back. So you know what? You fucked up. Brad, Derek, get out of here. So Derek walked over there, so he just starts running full speed ahead back to the house. I don't know why I did that. I get in my car, I peel out, and then she stays there just yelling at him over and over again. Hey motherfucker, what the fuck do you think we were trying to be nice to you? Fuck you. Well, anyway, she gets in her car, still screaming at him, peels out. We went back to my place and had a really good time. And y'all, that is the story of how I met my current pastor. Thank you, my name is Greg Wilson, it's a pleasure.
Very funny guy. I'm excited to see what he's going to do tonight. So guys, let's give a huge round of applause. No, it's not you, Kevin. We had to redo the order.
Was it me?
No, it's Kevin. All right, Kevin, come on up.
Thank you, Alex. I have to use cards. I have memory loss for some reason. Okay, here we go. 2 cups of flour, 3 cups of carrots. Wait, I picked up my damn recipe cards. Actually, that's a joke. There's no way I'm going to have a recipe for carrot cake. Who the hell is going to have a recipe for carrot cake? Some weirdo. If I don't hear any boos or at least some groans while I'm up here, there's something wrong with you guys, because some of this shit's fucked up. You know how some people call lesbians carpet munchers? Well, nowadays, a lot of women get shaved, so now they're linoleum lickers. Okay, little boy come running through the house. There's a dead mouse in the toilet. There's a dead mouse in the toilet. Really? Well, let's go check it out, little buddy. We go to the bathroom, look, there's a tampon in the toilet. Little streak does look like a little mouse tail. I can see where he got that. I said, yeah, cat must have got it. But we don't have a cat. Yeah, we've got a cat. Drinking Red Bull is not how you earn your red wings. I apologize for that. That's kind of a bad taste. I went to the courthouse the other day to get those veteran POW tags for my car. They couldn't find the service record. They said, what war were you in? I said, I was in the war on drugs. I was a prisoner at Blount County and Sevier County jails. I did not get my tags. The rumor that I have women chained up in my basement is not true. They're girls. Did I say that shit? Is irony when edibles give you the munchies? The other day I was riding through Wares Valley and I saw a sign, buy 1 pound, get half pound free. I did a quick U-turn, I went back, it was fudge. Okay. Remember the story about Jesus when he fed the multitudes with a few loaves and fishes? Imagine if Jesus was a stoner. He could rub a multitude of joints and have a bag with just 24 grams in it. That'd be handy. The other night, my girlfriend had too many margaritas. So we ended up, me holding her belt while she leaned out the door. When the worst was over, she looked up and said, I got tortilla chips in my nose. Tequila! That actually sounded better when I was fucked up. I could probably make a pop out of it. Make a pop out of about anything. My parents were real strict about pronunciation. I had to pronounce everything correct, which is hard to do in Blount County after you come home from school. But anyway, they told my grandmother that the four things on your car to go round and round are tires, they're not tar. cars. So the next time we went over to Grandma's, they'd been working on the road, she came out and said, they put a new tire on it. I've never really been into porn, digital images, photographs, they just don't do it for me. I need the real thing. That's why I dress like a ninja at night in the neighborhood picking in windows. That is okay, right? I dream of Jeannie. I guarantee you, every guy who's ever watched that show wanted one. She's sexy, she can get you anything you want, and you can make her get back in her damn bottle when you want to, too. I vaguely remember a story about a boy putting his finger in a dike. I'm pretty sure they don't like that. Okay, I was trying to pick up a chick in a bar, trying to start up a conversation. I told her I was an Aquarius. She said she was proud of me for coming out. So I told her my mother was a Virgo. Now she worships me, gives me 10% of her income. Another girl came up to me and said, "You come here often?" I said, "Once or twice in the bathroom." I drive a car, little economy, small car, and I wonder if people look at you and say, "He must have a big dick." How's my time? Not a minute. Thank you, everybody.
Nick Cruel. Sorry, I had to do that.
See, you're supposed to say I'm brand new and I've never even public spoken before. So everybody thinks I'm a prodigy.
You're not.
Okay, guys. My name is Amanda Cruel. I'm just kidding. My name is Amanda Cruel, and I'm not an adult. I'm sorry if I look a little sloppy tonight. I had some vodka when I was doing my lipstick. Smearing off. What are you gonna do? Anyway, I'm using my notes tonight, and some people say that makes me look unprofessional, and they're right. People who don't use notes look more professional. That's 100% true. But I'm just very disorganized and I'm very immature. I mean, technically, physically, I'm mature, despite the lack of height. But emotionally, psychologically, financially, not even close. You know how in grade school, if you're not ready to move on to the next grade, they hold you back and make you repeat it? I think somebody should have done that for me, because there is no way I should be 35. I should have been held back. So one of the things that my problem is, I have problems with, is procrastination. We got any, I'll go back to that. Never mind. Yeah. So, like for example, I haven't done my taxes this year, but I talked to an accountant and he said they can't arrest me until at least October. So I'm not really that worried about it. Homeless accountant, but, you know. Anyway, I did have a struggle in my life recently. My microwave broke, and I have a hard time doing things. My roommate offered to find someone to fix it, and I said, no, I'm mature, I'm the homeowner, I'm the landlord, I'm gonna take care of this. So 4 weeks later, we got our microwave repaired. That was pretty bad. But last week, our dryer broke, and on Sunday, my roommate Chris told me, he's like, Amanda, if you want, I'll take care of this for you. I'll make sure we get it fixed fast. And I was like, that is so great, thank you so much. The next morning was Monday morning, and he was, my roommate Chris, he got up a little bit later, he stumbled around, he was a little bit hungover, and I was like, God damn it, Chris, you said you're gonna call him and you're gonna deal with this today. And I got so angry and frustrated that I actually made the appointment myself. I called someone myself. So apparently that's all I need for motivation, is just hatred, spite, anger, ego, narcissism. That's what it takes for me. Anyway, the main reason that I'm never motivated is because of my mother and how much of an inspiration she is. My mom though, she's an inspiration. She's not an inspiration to do things, but she's an inspiration to be things. Like she always told me I could be anything. Like, I'm 35, I'm in terrible shape. I still truly believe that I could become prima ballerina in New York City, you know? My mom told me I could do anything except be a lawyer. My mom told me she'd rather me be a stripper than a lawyer. She was not happy when I actually did that, though. Anyway, the thing is, my mom really inspired me because she reinvented her life at age 50. She decided she had been married, she had helped my dad with his business, she had been raising our kids, and she decided, you know what, I'm gonna go live my life, and I'm gonna do what my dream is. So she moved to Key West, she started a hotel, and she is living her dream, you know, which is great for her. It kind of sucked that to live her dream, she had to like abandon her kids and leave us with our dad, whose brain was already disintegrating from early onset Alzheimer's. But, you know, I respect my mom a lot as a person, just not as a mother. The good thing is, though, is you don't have to worry about me. I am never having kids. My mother told me, Amanda, you can't have kids. And I was like 12 or 13, and I was like, is there something wrong with me? And she said, no, you'd just be a terrible mother. And she would know. Anyway, I'm getting better though, you guys. I'm getting more mature. So I actually found out I'm getting better with money. Yeah, I got a letter from my credit card company, and they said my balance is outstanding. Yeah. Alex, I forgot to start my watch. How much time am I at? 5? Okay. Well, I'm just gonna bring it to a close with this. These are some fun facts. So, did you know that if you mix up all the letters in Clint Eastwood, you rearrange them and you get Old West action? And if you mix up all the letters in slot machines, you get lost cash in them. And if you mix up all the letters in the post office, you get somebody else's mail. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to apologize to the other comics. There's a sign in the bathroom that said employees must wash hands, but I waited for like 10 minutes and no one came in. So there's just a little bit of pee on here. Anyway, thank you so much for coming tonight. Here's Alex Stokes. I'm all done.
I'm so sorry for your child. It's going to get weird. So this next guy, I'm very proud of him. He's been in my class, is this the third time? Third or fourth? We don't even know anymore. Third or fourth time he's taken my class. He just toured with me to Alabama. We did shows at a gigantic brewery in Alabama, and he's opened for me a lot of times. I'm excited to hear your new stuff tonight. So, guys, give a huge round of applause to Sean Dills.
Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? So yes, my name is Sean Dills, and yes, my parents have already told me I look like a nerdy Hagrid, or according to my girlfriend, a homeless Weird Al. And believe it or not, I actually had a threesome. You think me and threesome, you think me, a coyote, another homeless guy. No, believe it or not, 2 women. It was my ex and some girl she met online. So we go to a hotel to meet her, and as I'm having sex with this new girl, she's making these crazy, like, animalistic sounds. And I wasn't sure if I should be scared, or if this is like the sexiest rendition of Old MacDonald. But as we left the threesome, we see that the cleaning lady was right next door, and she left her 6 kids right in the hallway. It was really awkward. As I was trying to sneak by, but the oldest boy looks up at me and he's like, "Is the goat okay?" It was really awkward. "Is the goat okay?" is what I said. My whole life, women have been a big enigma to me. But recently, I've been able to pinpoint the roots of my confusion on women. You see, when I was 4, sometimes I would take a shower with my mom. Yeah. And one day, I said, hey, can we talk about the elephant in the room? Where's your wiener? Now, as a 4-year-old boy, that was a damn good question. But as a parent, you can answer a tough question like that one of 2 ways. You can either A, tell the truth, or B, lie. Let's see which one she chose. Hey, Mom, where's your wiener? Some guy cut it off. Oh, fuck. My one question is now 102. Who? Just some guy. Is he gonna cut off my wiener? No, he just gets women. Should we warn them? No, he's got them all. He got us all at once by a shed. My brain was fried. The next day, I went to my kindergarten class. I was staring at a group of girls, and one of them looks at me and is like, what are you staring at? I said, don't go near the shed. So I work at Walmart, and when I started out at Walmart, I was a janitor. And being a janitor at Walmart is like being a housemaid to a bunch of meth heads. Like one day, I found a dead raccoon inside of a trash can. Who the fuck has a dead raccoon to throw away? Hey Earl, pull over at the Walmart. I think the dead raccoon's gone bad. One day I was walking by the fish tanks. There was one dead fish on the ground. My buddy walks over, it's like, hey, why is there a dead fish on the ground? It's like, we keep it there to show the other fish what will happen if they try to escape. Actually, our manager just watched Finding Nemo. He's like, not at our store. So the other day, I was pouring a giant-ass water pellet out into the floor. This lady jumps right in front of me, and she puts 4 24 packs of Mountain Dew into her buggy. She goes, oh, I'm sorry. My son loves Mountain Dew. I said, yeah, no shit. 4 24 packs? Was he a fucking NASCAR driver? So then the other day, this lady at work, she shit all over herself. She runs to the bathroom, and when she comes out wearing nothing but a shirt. She walks outside and just waits for a ride. Naked. That is the most gangster thing I've ever seen in my entire life. If I was her, I'd still be in that damn bathroom like, fuck, I guess I'll live here now. This is where it's going to get offensive. Anybody get offended easily?
This is where it's going to go.
Yeah, all right. So recently, my grandparents found out I was a comedian. They sent me a text, trying to give me a joke. Would you guys like to hear the joke my grandparents gave me?
Yeah.
They said, what 2 things give men the most trouble in life? Wheels and tits. So I texted them back. I was like, so no crippled girls then? I like that one. I don't care. So the other day, my best friend had a birthday. I was like, what would you like to do for your birthday? He wants to go eat at a KFC buffet. If you ever forget you're depressed, go to a KFC buffet. They'll remind you real quick. Everyone there is depressed. And that's before they eat the KFC. I've seen better morale in an abortion clinic. I mean, you've grown, but you don't think they're having fun in there, do you? Let's kill some babies. I just killed the crowd. Okay. Who here likes wrestling? All right, one guy. Thank you. Me and you will get through this joke. All right. So have you ever noticed how sexual wrestling is? Right? Monday Night Raw. Taboo Tuesday. Wednesday Night Dynamite. Saturday Morning Slam. Sunday Night Heat. Velocity. It's fucking for every day of the week with a once-a-month pay-per-view. But I also realize this, like, this is a sport where people are wrestling in their underwear. Of course it's going to be sexual. And if you look at the match types, they also could be sexual. Have you ever fucked a girl with a clap? Hell in a Cell. You fucked a girl with warts? Dumpster match. I see that guy laugh. That's alright. Don't get me started on Inferno match, alright? Just don't go there. So, fucked an 80-year-old lady the other day. Casket match. Last week, I took my girlfriend's virginity. First blood match. Had sex with an Indian girl. Punjabi prison match. My real wrestling fans are getting this. Wearing a condom. The Shield. Fucking specifically Dean Ambrose up the ass. Ambrose Asylum match. See, it's so fun. Also, you date a cheating ass hoe? Lumberjack match. Because every time she leaves the ring, all the guys be beating her up. See, wrestling is much more fun with a boner. It's WWE, it kind of stands for Wild Erections. AEW, All Elite Wieners. But unfortunately, guys, I had to stop using sexual wrestling analogies because unfortunately, last night, my girlfriend asked if she can have a 30-man Royal Rumble match. Not that I'm on the 29 other wieners, just not ready to give her the ring yet. All right.
She actually did all this work and wrote your name on the card. So anyways, about my class. Now, anybody ever interested? They're going to be going all through the year. It's a lot of fun. Most people that take my class don't actually want to be stand-up comedians. Most people just want to be better speakers at work or better writers, or they just want to get away from their spouse every Tuesday for 8 weeks for $149. Whatever your case is, you can do it in my class and come hang out with these weird people that I'm hanging out with. No, they're awesome. Seriously though, follow us. We got a Facebook page coming out. Follow us and you can see where they're going to perform the next 3 weeks. Well, it's not 3 weeks, it's over the next 5 weeks. 3 more times. We always end at Schultzbrow. It's a big show, about 150 people. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's really cool to see. Tonight is their first performance to where they get to in just 8 weeks. So, all right, I'm going to bring up. Reluctantly, I tried to buy time until the venue closed, but they're still open. So we're gonna have to bring them up anyways. So the guy your mom warned you about, probably because he still owes her $10 for a handy.
We're going clean.
Which is funny because he told me tonight, hey, I'm going totally clean. Last class, all I talked about was masturbation. Tonight, it's going to be clean. And that's your intro. You couldn't even write your intro clean. Do you want to just go ahead? Get on your damn phone, sign up for my next class, because we're going to have to work on other shit now. Now, this guy's very funny. Give a huge round of applause for John Silk. Make sure you clean the microphone when you're done.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm a relatively clean comic, and seriously, tonight is not going to be that bad. That crazy fucker Sean, he should have been in the bag. By the way, that intro was pretty clean. My man, little man back here, he's got no clue what a handy is yet. Maybe he does. I don't know. So anyway,
They say that you're really not a true comedian until you bomb, until you really bomb. This is my second time taking this course, and I don't feel like I bombed last course, so tonight I'm going to steal some of Alex's jokes. So, my name's John. I'm an 8-year Army veteran. I'm not looking for cheap applause. But I spent a lot of time overseas. I literally spent 3.5 years in Korea, which is really cool because you're over there, you get to travel around Vietnam, Japan, some other places. And the one thing I learned is that Asians eat some crazy fucking shit. They really do. They eat squid while it's still alive in Japan, like the tentacles going down its throat, and they eat fish heads, and they eat kimchi. You guys know what kimchi is? Has anybody had kimchi? Yes. You probably had a store-bought version, but over there they make it for real. They literally ferment cabbage in a jar and bury it. And it smells horrible, it's nasty. And I think how it got invented, I think some Korean woman made it for her man, and he tasted it and said, this is so fucking bad, I'm gonna bury this shit in the yard, and we're never gonna fucking smell it again. And then a week later, just to be a bitch, she dug it up and served it to him. And he must have liked it, because we're still eating it. But anyway, not only that stuff that I just talked about, after coronavirus, when that first broke out, that craziness, we found out that it may have come from a bat in a wet market, which is fucking nasty, because that means somebody is actually buying a bat to eat. Nasty, dirty, rabies-infested, skunky-ass, guana, shitting. People are eating that. That is wrong. That's how we're all gonna fucking die from a pandemic. The only thing that you could eat worse than a fucking bat is probably mid-rare E. coli, or maybe a fucking fried syphilis. I don't even know, but it's fucking nasty. But I'm not in the Army anymore. I now work for the post office. Please hold your applause. Post office. I'm not actually a mail delivery guy. I don't wear the little shorts and deliver stuff. I'm a clerk. Which means in the back of a post office, when all your fucking Amazon comes in and all the mail comes in, I'm the guy that sorts it, I scan it in, I give it to the carriers, and they bring it out to you. And then I get to go to the front window and deal with the public. It's the worst. I work for literally the worst, the most hated government agency, and then I get to put retail in front of it, and it fucking sucks. I bear the brunt of all complaints. Your package got lost in Idaho. I get fucking yelled at. Stamps went up a nickel. Oh no, it's my fucking fault you can get my face. Your package got delivered with the shit inside broken. Well, that was me, because you were bitching about that fucking package in Idaho, you bitch. But it really is, as retail, I'm sure a lot of other people have worked retail, there's things you hate, there's customers you can't stand. My pet peeve is women, especially older ones, with boob money. Does everybody know what boob money is? Boob money during the summer, you see it all the time. A woman's wearing a bikini or a sundress, no purse, no pockets. They put the money under their boob in their bra or bikini. Now, guys are like, man, that sounds great, but it's always somebody you would never want to help dig that money out. It's fucking nasty. And whenever they pull out that money, it's always wet. It has been marinating in boob sweat forever, and it's fucking nasty. I got a friend I work out with, obviously. He's got a list. This is kind of sad. It's comedy, but it's sad. He's got a really bad list. Great guy, one of those guys where we're like, oh, I'd love to date him, and people are all, you know, romantic comedy, you're like, yay, I hope he finds love. So he does meet this girl, Sandy, or as he called her, Thandy. And they're dating, and things are going well, and they're hitting off, and things get progressively serious. And of course, the inevitable, they have sex, 2 grown adults. Here's where the problem comes in. As they get more comfortable having more and more sex, things start to develop, you know, you get more aggressive, things change, you want to experiment. And she wants to talk dirty. She tells him, like, hey, I really do like to talk dirty. If you want to, let's go to it. So they go to bed, and she's doing a certain thing, and he's trying to play the dominant role because he knows she likes that. And he tells her to thuck it. Thuck it. So, from the story, obviously I'm here for my friend, she giggles, but continues on. She's a trooper, she keeps on going. And eventually they get a little closer, things get into it, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So now he's got her from behind, And again, to play the dominant part, he says, "Oh yeah, who put thee of that?" And the chick can't take it. She literally gets up in the middle of sex, grabs her shit and goes, and he never fucking saw her again. Never saw her again. And it's kind of sad, it's kind of funny, but it's definitely a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. And that's fucking bullshit. She held that handicap against him, and that is not fair. I urge them to push charges. Press charges. Get that bitch at least 100 hours of community service for your penis. But he did, in time, that was a while ago, he did in time meet a girl. And here's the crazy part. She's got a semen allergy. Seriously, semen allergy. I didn't know it was a thing until I heard about this. So they can't have kids. So apparently her stuff was swollen up. Whatever happens down there, I try not to know that shit. But it was raw and it was swollen up. So she goes to a doctor. How do you find that out? Like, hey doc, my stuff's all swollen up. Can we figure out where this is coming from? And all I think in my head is, they do whatever test they do, probing around, running microbes and shit, and biology. And he comes back and he's like, I think you have an allergy to semen. That's kind of embarrassing, wouldn't it be? Because you'd be like, because then the doctor would be like, now we know why you had that eye infection when you were a teenager too. So, anyway, it was not that bad tonight. That's all the time I have. This is all new shit. Thank you for listening, and we're going to get Alex on here right now.
Jose, well, are you still writing your jokes? Are you done with them, or are you ready to go?
I'm signing my divorce papers.
Oh, you're signing the divorce papers, okay. Guys, give a huge round of applause for Jose, and then we'll be done for the night.
A little behind the back pass. How's everybody doing? Good. So I'm fat. I knew I was going to be a fat when I was a kid, but not fat, a fat. Because that's what we called them when we saw them in the street. Not being able to catch up to the slowest ice cream truck on the block. Dude, it was so hot in Miami, and we were fat. We wouldn't even avoid traffic. We would almost melt across the street. I would get to the other side and be a foot shorter. My bad. I'm sorry, short people. I knew I was going to be kind of a heavy dude when I was a kid. I don't know if y'all remember Stretch Armstrongs. It's like a dope-ass old man toy. I broke mine. We stretched them so far, we tore a vagina into him. But what came out of his vagina was high fructose corn syrup. Because that's what Stretch Armstrong is filled with, or used to be filled with, that belonged to me. So I had a Stretch Lieutenant Dan. He didn't have any legs because I was eating him like a Go-Gurt. You just squeeze at the bottom and suck out the top. And that's when I developed my affinity for blondes at that point. Somebody once called me, they're like, yo, you're really tall for a Mexican. It's like, I'm not offended because you called me Mexican. I'm offended because I ripped my shirt off and there was my shorter brother holding me up to this height. And we jumped out and proceeded to beat this guy's ass. Back to the wrestling jokes. It was nuts. They used to call me the Flying Taquito. I remember one time I laughed so hard I started sweating, and then I bought a gym membership. So I realized that's a problem. Gasping shouldn't cause excessive perspiration. Sometimes when I look at food too hard, I get full. It's like if I'm eating it through osmosis, using my eyeballs, just go, stay fat boy, yeah. Don't get skinny. If I was a superhero, I think my weakness would be 4 stairs. Just the entrance to the post office. I'd be like, oh no, I'm losing. I'm gonna be done. Like one time, I think I ran so hard, my boobs got saggier because they were like flopping a little bit. I think they were flopping so hard, somebody thought there was a second pair of wings and I was trying to take them off. But then they were like, nah, those wings can't support that guy, that's crazy. He's like a cherub made of tungsten. Obviously you can tell I have issues with my body image. That's why I do everything with my eyes closed whenever there's a mirror around, unless that mirror is covered in cocaine. And then only my nostrils are wide open. And I don't use a straw, I use a toilet paper roll. Because I'm obviously on the toilet. I think I'm done. That's what I tell them at Golden Corral, and then I go, psych, joke's on you, you just replaced the mac and cheese, bitches. If I was an octopus, Golden Corral would have a heart attack. Because they wouldn't know what I'd look like, but I'd be able to hold hella plates. Thank you so much.